Good morning. So we're focused on samadhi today. Mindfulness, samadhi later. They do run together, they work together. So what I'd like to do is lead you through the 16 steps of mindfulness of in and out breathing, not as a study, but as a practice. So guided meditation, and then there's a stack of handouts on the back table now that look like this, that are just kind of a cheat sheet for the instructions. And you can take one and practice with it, and then this afternoon I'll answer questions you have about it. We can go over it again and really look at the details. I'll also answer more questions that have come into the basket this afternoon. So we begin with settling into our posture. With the body erect, or really, regardless of your position, you can do this lying down, standing, walking. I would say sitting and lying down or standing meditation are the best for this. At the bottom, if the spine is relatively straight, then the energy can flow easily up and down that column. But if your physical spine isn't straight, like mine, I have some pretty pronounced scoliosis. That's not important. That doesn't matter. It's more about the energy channels being open. And relax. And just give your mind the light instruction to let go of everything else. Set aside desires or aversions or attachments. Not in a final way, but just right now, we're going to just be present here in this moment with our breathing. Now, there's a small percentage of people for whom putting their attention on their breath makes them anxious, sometimes even panicky. If you're one of those people, then put your attention where it feels comfortable and use the same instructions. But in general, the attention is on our in-breath and our out-breath. And we're establishing mindfulness. And from what I've seen over the years, the most natural way to do that is to inquire, ask some question about the object we're meditating on. So the first instruction that the Buddha gives is to breathe in long, knowing you're breathing in long. Not that you make the breath long, but you're basically, or deep, but you're basically noticing the depth of the breath. Is it heavy? Is it deep? Or is it shallow? And just that question establishes our mindfulness. We're observing the breath. So the first instruction refers to the breath being heavy or deep, and the second instruction refers to the breath being light or shallow or short. But your breath, your in-breath is the way it is, your out-breath is the way it is, and you just notice that. Not trying to alter it, but just allowing it to be as it is. In a relaxed way, you're not trying to get anything or do anything or prove anything. Just breathing in like you've done how many hundreds of thousands of times in your life, and breathing out. And being aware of it. You breathe in long and you know you're breathing in long or deep. Breathe out long, you know you're breathing out long or deep. Breathe in short, you know you're breathing in short or shallow. Breathe out short or shallow, and you know you're breathing out in that way. And it doesn't matter at all if it's deep or shallow, and it will change. It's also helpful to have an attitude of kindness or friendliness towards the breath. It's good if you can think of your breath as a good friend. After all, it's sustaining your life. In the third instruction, the Buddha says to expand your awareness and breathe in, being aware of the whole body. being aware of the whole body. And just notice what that instruction does for the mind. Being present and aware of the whole body. You know you're breathing in. When you're breathing in and you're aware of the whole body, and you're breathing out, you're aware that you're breathing out and you're present with and aware of the whole body. And this awareness is the same as what we've been talking about. You're just present without words. It's like this. You might notice that this awareness of the whole body helps the body to relax, or maybe a different response. And that you're just being present, breathing in, breathing out, without judgment, without trying to get anything. And the fourth instruction is to breathe in, calming the body. And to breathe out, calming the body. these 4 instructions fulfill mindfulness of the body. And the next section is about feeling. We begin with noticing as we breathe in, being sensitive to the feeling of piti, or joy. Oftentimes translated as rapture. But any sense of joy or happiness in the body, any sense of joy or happiness that's arising from being calm, focused on your in-breath and out-breath, pleasant feeling. It's really a mental, pleasant feeling, but you might feel it as some sensation in the body, like tingling or warmth, or a kind of fullness. But just notice any kind of pleasant feeling, still aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Breathing in, noticing any kind of joyful or pleasant sensation. Breathing out, sensitive to joyful or pleasant sensations. And the next instruction is similar, but instead of piti, it's sukha, another word for happiness or pleasant sensation. And piti and sukha often become one compound word, piti sukha. Breathing in, sensitive to feelings that are pleasant. Breathing out, sensitive to feelings that are pleasant. When we put our attention on pleasant feeling, it seems to grow, expand. This is very helpful for calming the body and the mind. We're still present with our in-breath and our out-breath, and also these sensations that are pleasant or joyful. And then the Buddha asks us to turn our attention to the thoughts going through the mind. So breathing in, aware of mental activity. Breathing out, aware of mental activity. Is what is passing through the mind right now. Without judgment, just noticing, aware you're breathing in, aware that you're breathing out. And then the last instruction in this group is to calm that mental activity. So previously, we invited the body to become tranquil, and now we invite the mind to become tranquil. We continue to be aware of our in-breath and our out-breath. And that brings to a close the instructions on feeling, mindfulness of feeling. And now we will use mindfulness to observe the mind itself. In the same way as we were talking about yesterday, awareness of the mind. What state is your mind in right now? You're also anchored in the in-breath and the out-breath, still aware you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out, and observing or witnessing the mind, the state of the mind. Is the mind content? Is it contracted or is it expansive? Is it agitated? Is it dull or happy? Anticipating what comes next. So what is the state of the mind right now? Breathing in, aware of the mind. Breathing out, aware of the mind. And whatever the state of the mind is, the next instruction is to gladden the mind, lift it up. Breathing in, calling forth an image or some kind of message that brings more gladness, more happiness to the mind. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, gladdening the mind. So you could do this with an image of the Buddha, or a reflection on the Buddha or the Dhamma, truth that you already know about the Dhamma, or enlightened Sangha, or something more personal like your own generosity or the generosity you've seen in others, or moral virtue, what we admire, what we aspire to. What lifts the mind or the heart. Still aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Bringing more happiness, more joy, gladdening to the mind. And the Buddha said it is the happy mind is easily concentrated. Even though we're guiding our mind through these instructions, this is also a natural progression. Using the breath to support our awareness, and our awareness to be witness to this process of calming the body and the mind into samadhi. So the fourth instruction in this group, focusing on the mind, the chitta, is to samadhify the mind. Bring the mind into samadhi by steadying it, calming it, breathing in happily, breathing out happily, settling the mind in samadhi. Don't think about whether it follows the definition of samadhi or not. It doesn't matter. You're present with the mind, witnessing whatever's there, happily, calmly, breathing in, breathing out, relaxing into stillness. And we're going to go to the final instruction in this section on the mind, of releasing the mind from the state that it's in, just relaxing. When you do this on your own, you can stay with that calmer mind as long as you wish. But that puts the final touch on the part of this instruction set on the chitta, on the mind. And then we move to the final set of instructions on the Dhamma. And the first one is, as you're breathing in, reflect upon impermanence. And as you're breathing out, reflect upon impermanence. It can be the impermanence that you're experiencing right now with your breath, with your mental state. You can even bring in a subject from your life that's important to you right now, to reflect upon the impermanence of it, how it changes. Still knowing that you're breathing in and knowing that you're breathing out. And using mindfulness, so it is that position of the witness, observing anicca, impermanence. When we really take in the impermanent nature of something, we lose our passion for it, our attachment to it. So the next instruction is to contemplate viraga, dispassion. See things for what they are, and we can still value them, but we don't have the same delusion around clinging to it. We naturally start to let go. Our desire for it fades. So sometimes viraga is translated as fading away, like a bright cloth in the sun fades. So we can contemplate as we're breathing in and breathing out the experience of that fading away. And instead of bringing kind of a sense of loss, it brings relief. Happiness. Letting go of attachment, unburdening ourselves. Unburdening ourselves with that false perception of ownership. Because it's impermanent, we can't really own it. Whatever it is, believing that we can sustains our suffering, and it renews our suffering. But once we realize that it has, whatever it is, has its own process, its own coming and going, and we loosen our grip on it, we start to let go. Let it go its own way. And we feel relief. And the next instruction is the cessation, nirodha. The attachment is fading away and then ceasing. We're still breathing in, breathing out, contemplating cessation, cessation of clinging, cessation of suffering, cessation of delusion. And finally, the fourth instruction is relinquishment, really letting go. And even if we feel like we haven't fully let go, we can contemplate it as a reality. This is how the process works. As we develop wisdom and insight arises, no longer burdened by trying to own something or be something that we can never hold steady. Because it's naturally changing. We can do this process with particular things in mind, as I said earlier. Something that we're clinging to that we know we can't control. We can learn to let it go. In reality, we can still do things to make it easier, maybe to help, to care, but not with the same anxiety and fear and worry, because we know its nature is to fall apart, to fade away, to come to an end. It's not me or mine anyway. But the more we see reality, the true nature of things, the happier we become, the less burdened. Eventually, every place is safe. Every circumstance is okay. Good enough. And the love that we feel becomes more and more selfless and deeper. Boundless. I have a lot of appreciation for how silent you've been and are being, and I know you'll continue to be. It's beautiful. And I really encourage you to use these longer periods of time for deep meditation or whatever is happening in your process, to stay with it. Sitting in here, I don't know if you're sitting any other places. Walking meditation, back and forth is the tradition we have. Like you might start at that white line and go to that white line. Not in here, but out there with some idea of the endings. Going to one end, putting your attention on your feet. Walking, it doesn't have to be slow, it could be any pace, but mindfully paying attention to your body's movements, particularly your feet, and maybe using a word like Buddha to get to the other side, observing when the mind goes on to something else and stop, and recenter, reground yourself, and continue. See if you can enter samadhi like that. If you can, if you do, I don't mean to make it sound like a goal. because these kinds of goals really just mess us up. But, just really doing it in a way that brings as much peace and calm to the mind as possible, going back and forth. So I would also recommend that you pick up your sheet, the back, if you don't already know these by heart, and just take some time to guide yourself through it. See how that goes, and write down any questions you have and put them in the basket. I'm going to go through this this afternoon. There are a couple of things that are always really questions for any of us. Like, what's the difference between the activity of the mind and the mind itself? It's something you can contemplate, but it's also good to have some pointers on something like that, and so on. So I'll talk about that a bit this afternoon and answer questions. So I just want to encourage you to keep up the practice. And we'll see some of you over there behind the green door now, and I think Ayachitananda will see some folks in the dining